Well, here they come. Final event of the day. It's the women's 100 meters final. And we've seen a lot of her getting ready. We saw her produce the fastest time in the semi-finals. And Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce will take to her marks as the favorite for this blue ribboned event of women's track and field, the 100 meter sprint. So no tactics here, not like that 10,000 where it was a slowly run race and all depending on the sprint at the end. This will be sprint all the way. Flowers in her hair, ready for something special. The shortest athlete in the lineup, I would suspect. The final of the women's 100 meters. Heats yesterday, semi-finals today. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, the world leader at 10.74. Ran 10.81 in a semi. Morrison of Jamaica, Aye, Trinidad and Tobago, Campbell Brown of Jamaica, Fraser-Pryce of Jamaica, skippers of the Netherlands, Bowie, USA, Baptiste, Trinidad and Tobago, Okagbari of Nigeria. That's the 8 women who've made their way through to the final. We start with Natasha Morrison, who smashed her personal best when she ran 10.96 in the semi-final, second in this year's Jamaican Championships. To you-know-who. A new star, Tasha Morrison, goes in the inside lane 2. Then we have Michelle Lee Ai of Trinidad and Tobago. Started last year in brilliant form, then got injured, but back to her best clearly. 10.97 here in Beijing. Then one of the all-time greats of women's sprinting, multiple world and Olympic medals, 7 Olympic medals, the oldest in the field at 33, Veronica Campbell-Brown, VCB, with a personal best of 10.76. One of the all-time 10 fastest women. And Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is the 4th fastest all-time. She's the double Olympic champion. She's won 2 world titles. She's the world indoor champion. The superstar of sprinting, the clear favorite for this title. Her best ever 10.70, 10.74, the world lead this year. And Daphne Schippers, fantastic improvement in her personal best from 10.92 to 10.83 in the semi-final. European champion, indoors and out, concentrating on the sprints now. A huge talent, at 23 years of age, coming into her peak form. Daphne Schippers in lane 6. Then we have Tori Bowie, this year's US champion, also winner in the Diamond League in New York. And then second in London, Stockholm and Shanghai. Super form this year for the US champion, who's run 10.80. Kellyanne Baptiste was the bronze medalist back in 2011. Another Olympic finalist as well. The Trinidad and Tobago goes in lane 8. And in lane 9, the double Commonwealth champion from Nigeria, Blessing Okagbari, 5th and 6th in the last 2 editions of these World Championships. And at 10.79, she's the 3rd quickest on her all-time best of this lineup. So once again then, from lane 2 to 9, we have Morrison, Aye, Campbell-Brown, Fraser-Pryce, Schippers, here in lane 6, Bowie, Baptiste and Okagbari. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce taking to her marks in lane 5 in this women's 100 meters final. Schippers next to her in lane 6, then Bowie. And away she goes. Fraser-Pryce is quickly into her running. She's got a metre on skippers and she's coming clear of the rest of the field. This is shelly-ann Fraser-Pryce who's going to retain her title. Daphne Sippers is going to take second place. It's pretty close for third between Veronica Campbell-Brown and Tori Bowie. But 10.76, we expected her to win. It's all very well to say you expect it, but she's delivered. She's the third time world champion now at 100 metres, the fourth time Jamaicans have won this particular title. It's come through, it's confirmed, it's the official time, 10.76. Brilliant run by Skippers to take the silver medal as well, and she's absolutely delighted. She'll be even better, of course, at the 200 metres. She smashed her Dutch record once again. She's run 10.81, and it was Tori Bowie who just came up to beat for Campbell-Brown, 10.86 to 10.91.
We were talking earlier on today about Daphne Schiffer's decision to switch to heptathlon. That has been vindicated. Fraser-Pryce was the overwhelming favourite and she delivered in style, but I tell you what, Schiffers was closing her down towards the end of the race. She gave Fraser-Pryce a metre at the start. We know the Jamaican is brilliant out of the blocks, but such strength from Schiffers over the last 20 metres. That was massively impressive from the Dutch woman.
Fraser-Pryce, though, you can't beat this woman technically. She gets out of the blocks so fast, gaining a metre or so on everybody else, and the pressure is on right from the word go, literally. Skipper's lost about a metre or so, lost another metre in the first 30. She was 2 metres behind this woman and then closed so much over the last part of the race. She really was coming hard, and as Peter said, her best distance, the 200 metres, subject to watch later in the programme.
It was absolutely brilliant from the Dutch woman, who's taken 11 hundredths off her lifetime best. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, though, fourth from the right-hand side, a fantastic start, as she always gets, as we know she gets. But look at how much distance the Dutch woman took out of the Jamaican in the closing stages. A brilliant finish for silver, and Tori Bowie, a great end to her season, 10.86, a deserved bronze medalist.
Well, Schippers didn't get a great start. She is very tall, and I think in effect she was a little bit slow getting out of the blocks. Not a great start, and she lost about 2 or so metres, as I said before, on Fraser-Pryce, but closing her down over that last 10 metres. Watch here, every stride she is pulling her back inch by inch, and in the end just less than half a metre or so.
Interestingly, on the reaction times, Kellyanne Baptiste the quickest, and second quickest was in fact Daphne Schippers, 0.129 compared to Fraser-Pryce 0.161. But that's just reaction. What really matters is the pick-up and away, and that's where Fraser-Pryce comes in.
Great emotion for the Dutch woman there with her family. She's in tears, she can't believe it, but she's been absolutely brilliant. But let's take nothing away from Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce as Tori Bowie soaks up the applause and reflects on her great performance. Fraser-Pryce, though, what a champion.
I'll double up there with obviously Usain Bolt for the Jamaicans in the 100. Now, a great victory for Fraser-Pryce. For the Jamaicans again, wonderful run from her in the women's 100.
The biggest disappointment in that final, the biggest surprise perhaps, Blessing Okabare came last, 11.02, and she looks brilliant in the semi-final.
Well, Fraser-Pryce, the first woman to win the 100 metres title 3 times. Let's just take another look again. And the power that she generates in getting into full speed here is a wonder to behold.
Well, Peter, it's that acceleration, isn't it? She's a compact woman, very powerful. Look at the legs, very powerful. She gets the cadence and the stride length going so quickly. She snatches the victory before anybody has a chance to come back at her. They were closing, but the hand goes aloft at least 2 or 3 metres beforehand. Look at the expression on her face here. That is absolute classic sprinting.
This is almost Usain Bolt-esque from the same stadium in 2008. So far ahead, celebrating before she crosses the line. She's underlining her status as one of the greats.
And whereas Usain Bolt is a head taller than most of his rivals, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is surely a head shorter than Daphne Schippers.
She certainly is, but the effect is quite dramatic at the start, isn't it?
Oh, she's devastating out of the blocks, absolutely devastating.
But also, she never gets a bad start. Never gets a bad start. It's always perfect, every single time. There it is, look. At this point, she's a metre clear. At this point, she goes 1.5 metres clear. But then, obviously, because of her leg length and her stride, she starts losing ground as the others start really opening up. Skipper's coming hard. But it doesn't matter, because at the end, it's who gets to the line first.
I think there'll be great respect between those two going forward into 2016. And really good that a non-Caribbean nation, a non-American nation could get in amongst the mix. With hard work, it is possible.
Skippers following in the footsteps of the immortal Fanny Blankers-Koen, who of course was the great European sprinter many years ago.
Well, there'll be brilliant celebrations, not only at wherever they're hosting the Jamaican party tonight, but back home on the island. And there'll also be great pride in the performance of Daphne Schiffers for the silver.
We saw a great shot from behind in the semi-final of this lady taking away from the blocks, and look at the determination on that face. How dare you go past me? Beautiful running. Technique absolutely perfect from gun to tape. Flowers and all. Well done. Well, they'll be celebrating in the hair salon back in Kingston, is it? I don't know, but wow. Another medal will be hung up there yet again.
Brilliant dominance at the moment from Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. That's the high five to go home with tonight.
I don't think Schippers can believe it. That was a magnificent performance from the Dutch woman. It really was.
And it's not very often, Steve, OK, Bolt has done this, but Bolt apart, it's not very often that you see an athlete run a personal best in a global final over 100 metres where there's so much pressure.
Yeah, she's coming through those Schippers. You know, she's dropped down from the heptathlon, so this is her first season where she's concentrating on the sprints. And really, what dividends it's paid, it really has. You can watch this race time and time again, but it's not going to change, is it? Middle of the picture, beautiful, powerful running.
Great from both women, and brilliant that Schiffers didn't panic when she found herself 1.5 meters down, because so often athletes would do that.
Well, there's a selfie. Yeah, the disappointment we had, I think Okabari maybe, as you said, Rob, before the race, up there amongst the medals, but to finish almost last in a very slow time. Not sure what was going on there. We didn't really catch it really, but that was disappointment. I think the only disappointment I could see in that race.
I'm afraid she's done it before, really. I mean, 5th and 6th in the last 2 championships as well. She doesn't seem to be able to be one of those athletes who can respond well under pressure. She was wonderful in the Commonwealth Games, but she was out clear of the rest of the field. She seems to run so much better when she can run really relaxed like that.
Yeah, her medals in Moscow came in the 200 and the long jump. Those 2 events still to come. But tonight it's all about the 100, and it's about the queen of sprinting. Once again, the black, green and gold of Jamaica coming out on top. They've taken both the blue ribbon sprint titles. A wonderful time for Caribbean sprinting at the moment. Schiffers goes over to do yet another interview. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is still on her lap of honour, and she may be for quite some time to come. So much power. But what a great rivalry that might turn into with Daphne Schiffers if she can build on that over this next winter and emerge with even more confidence for 2016.
So the result of the women's 100 metres, gold going to Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, 10.76. Silver to Daphne Schippers in 10.81, another Dutch record. And the bronze to Tori Bowie of the United States.